Conjugation. We are going to talk about mostly the yo form, but first let's crack open like the basics. We're going to go over the 9 basics in this upper left hand corner. Okay, so first row, we are dealing with the present tense. And from left to right, we are increasingly more formal. We've got the casual, we've got that mid level, polite but informal, and then we got the formal. Okay, second row is past tense. Third row, future tense. Are there more politeness levels than these? You betcha. There are more, but these are the 3 more basic ones that you will encounter more frequently. So we're just going to stick with these 3. Okay, let's go with way over here, the casual present tense. Now, I have taken the verb 먹다, conjugated it 9 different ways. That is the verb that we're working with. 먹어. This is you're talking to really close friends, people that are younger than you. You're not at work or anything like that. You're just hanging out. And you notice I added 어. We'll talk about adhesive vowels in a minute, but we end up with 어 as our adhesive vowel. Now, let's talk about 먹어요. 먹어요. Basically, you add the yo, boom. Polite, informal. Does this work every single time? No. A lot of times it does. You just add the yo and that's all you have to do. 먹어요. This is the polite informal. Okay, so like you're at work, you're speaking to colleagues that are like on your same level, like not your boss, but like people that you've been working with for a while. 먹어요. So the yo form is perfectly fine for that. You're out running errands, you're talking to the clerk, that kind of thing. The yo form is the basic level of politeness that is expected of you, just like out and about living your life. At least add the yo. Okay. Then we have 먹습니다. This is formal. Present tense formal. 먹습니다. The nida form is interesting because not only is it formal, but you're also encountering one of my favorite sound change rules. This be up is going to turn to a miam because we have a neon right after it. This is across the board what we're going to do with all formal sentences. Instead of 먹습니다, we're going to go 먹습니다. When I was first starting out, I would pretend that the be up, okay, if the be up is followed by a neon or a miam, the neon and the miam, they're a couple of priests. And they perform an exorcism on the be up and they get rid of the horns. Now it's just a miam. Phonetically, that's what takes place. You still have to spell it with a be up, but you get it. 먹습니다 versus 먹습니다. And that is formal. This is like, okay, you're talking with your boss. Perhaps you're giving a speech in front of a crowd at work, that kind of thing. It's a more formal event. Those occasions call for formal speech. Now, you might have one of those laid back bosses that, like, after you've been working with them for a while, you might be able to slide into the yo form and it's not a big deal. When you first meet a boss or your in laws or a potential employer, when you first meet them, your best bet is formal speech. So if your sentences aren't ending in nida, I don't know, you might not get the job. Just saying. Next, we have our past tense. Now, just like last time, we're going to begin with casual. 먹었어. 먹었어. We have an extra syllable from when we had the casual, didn't we? Okay, os. We wedged os between the mok and the adhesive vowel. Mogoso. Now, one thing you've probably noticed about the past tense is the sanshio. We got a sanshio, sanshio, sanshio. That is what makes it the past tense. And if we had used a verb where the verb stem ended in a vowel, we would have added the sanshio right on the bottom. But this verb stem ends in a consonant, so we have to create a whole new syllable just to give the sanshio a home. And then we add the adhesive vowel. Mogoso. Next, let's try polite informal. Again, these are your colleagues at work, same level as you, they're not your boss. Mogosoyo. Mogosoyo. So again, we just added the yo. Suspiciously easy. Almost as if that's all we have to do every single time. Will it work every single time? We'll find out. Next, we have the formal. Mogosumnida. Mogosumnida. So the only difference between the present tense and the past tense is this os right here. Just like the previous ones, we just added the os, os, os. And again, moksumnida. Don't forget that sound change rule. The biat becomes a mia. Moksumnida. In fact, let's say that you're out at either at a restaurant or maybe you're at someone's house and they're cooking for you. But if you're out at a restaurant and someone's gonna pay for you, what you can do at the end of the meal, you can turn to them and instead of saying thank you, you can say "잘먹었습니다." "잘먹었습니다." That says I ate well. "잘먹었습니다." So that's something that you will hear very frequently at the end of the meal. Maybe people around you are saying that. That's what's going on. Join them. "잘먹었습니다." Whoever's paying. If you are on your own, this is something nice to say to the staff as you go to pay and then leave. "잘 먹었습니다." Next, we got the future tense. For casual, 먹을 거야. The future tense has two phases for it. The addition of the lir, that's part one. 먹을. So again, because the verb stem ends in a consonant, we have to create a whole nother vowel just to be able to put the lir somewhere. If it ended in a vowel, we would have just added the lir right on the bottom. So this could have been, if we were talking about kara, to go, instead of mokta, to eat. Kara, we get rid of the da, we have the verb stem ka, we would have added the lir right on the bottom. Kal. That's what we would have done. But we have to create a whole nother syllable because it's a consonant. That's part one of the future tense. Part two. Kaya. Kaya. You know what kaya really is? Kot ita. Kot ita. Literally, thing to be. Kot ita. Now, you may drop the shio. This is still thing. Ko is still thing. And then ya is just a super condensed, super casual way of saying ita. So, again, part one of the future tense, the addition of the lir, however you do it. Whether you have to stick it right on the verb stem or you create a new syllable, one way or another, the lir has to show up. Part two, the addition of kot ita. The kot ita is going to be present in all the future tense conjugations. So let's take a look at polite informal future tense. 먹을 거예요. we have our lir as usual, and then koyeo. We added the yo, as you'd expect. We've made a change from ya to ye. So this time, the yo didn't fix everything, did it? If our form is going to end in a ya, then we're going to go yeo. Future tense formal. 모겠습니다. 모겠습니다. Do you hear a difference between 모겠습니다 versus 먹었습니다? It is a slight difference. It's all about that second syllable. I will eat well. 잘 먹겠습니다. If you want to say it at the beginning of the meal to whoever's paying. 잘 먹겠습니다. If you're on your own and the server drops off your meal, you can say to them, 잘 먹겠습니다 at the beginning of the meal. Now, I do have this question a lot. Okay, the sanshio means past tense. Okay, I get it. What's up with this? We've got a sanshio in future tense formal. What's going on? Well, like I said, we have got ita inherent in all. Like it's baked into all the future tense conjugations. Get is a super condensed version of go ita. So the sanshio is coming from here. That's how we got the sanshiot. Okay, and the lir won't be in every future tense conjugation. You will more often see it in casual and that mid-level politeness, the polite informal. Future tense, it's usually just going to be the addition of get right in the middle. With that 9 out of the way, we are going to go through the rest of these examples, and these examples are going to be the yo conjugation. Because I feel like that's going to be the form that you're going to be using 80% of the time when you go over there and visit. That's what you'll hear the most, that's what you'll use the most. So that's what we're going to do. For the first verb we practice with, we're going to stick with 먹다, to eat. 먹다. Step number 1, when you conjugate something, is get rid of the da. Because you're going to conjugate from the verb stem, not from da. Step number 1, get rid of da. Step number 2, let's look at the final vowel remaining in the verb stem. It's that o. It's facing left. Let's go up here. Let's figure out what adhesive vowel we get. If our final vowel in the verb stem was pointed right or pointed up, in other words, if it was an a or an o vowel, we would have ended up with the a adhesive vowel. Basically, just the vowel that holds the whole thing together. And of course, we add the yo for that mid-level politeness, right? Our vowel is facing left. So, it's one of these. We're going to get another o as our adhesive vowel, plus the yo. Now, because these are the same vowel, we are not going to combine them in the same syllable block. We add the yo to be polite. Now, what is our final conjugation going to sound like? 먹어요. Next, we have 사다, to buy. 사다. Step number 1, get rid of the da. We are down to the verb stem. Step number 2, let's look at the final vowel. Well, this time our vowel is pointed right. It's one of these. So we're going to get an a adhesive vowel. Add the yo. In the previous example with 먹다, our verb stem ended in a 기역. Because it ended in a consonant, we're just going to keep this adhesive vowel in its own block with 먹어요. Because we don't have a consonant at the end of sa, the adhesive vowel, because it's the same vowel, you really only need one. And we don't have that consonant to separate them, so we're just going to drop one. Add the yo. What is our final conjugation? Sayo, with just the one ah. So the adhesive vowel showed up, but the position has been filled. Go back home. Sorry, it's like that sometimes. Next we have Buddha, to see or to watch. Buddha. Step number 1, as always, get rid of the da. Step number 2, what direction is our final vowel facing? It's pointing up. It's one of these. So hey, we get another adhesive vowel. This time, we finally have an example of the final vowel and the adhesive vowel being two different vowels. Up here, they were the same vowel. Down here, they're different vowels. What are we going to do in that case? We're going to combine them in the same block. Add the O. What is our final conjugation going to sound like? Boil. Boil. So far, so good. Let's do a few more. Mashida. Mashida. To drink. Mashida. Get rid of the da. Mashi. Well, what do we do now? We have two vowels in this verb stem. We've got the a, we got the e. Which one are we going to use to decide what our verb stem is? We're always going to look to the last one remaining. We're going to look at this e vowel. Now, this e vowel, it can't point either way. It has no arms to point with. So, we've got the o vowel. Now, before we continue, I want you to remember. Take a moment and remember. What other vowels besides the E vowel have that same effect on that shiot? Because we're making the SH sound before we go into the E, right? Mashi, mashi. What other vowels do that? Okay, I'll just tell you. Any of the Y starting vowels. Ya, yo, you, all of them. Any double stick vowel. Any vowels with two sticks sticking out of them. They're all part of that same family that have that effect on the shiot, and they all begin with that E sound. Ya, yo, yay, E. Okay, you get it. So, a clever way to combine these two sounds in the same syllable block is to simply turn this adhesive vowel into the double stick version. Add the yo. What is our final conjugation going to sound like? Mashayo. Mashayo. Not bad. You're doing a good job so far. Next we have beuda. Beuda. To learn. Beuda. Drop the da, we are left with beu. Beu. All right, so our final vowel is pointed down. Okay, it's going to get the o adhesive vowel. They are two different vowels. They will combine in the same block. Add the o. We end up with bewoyo. Bewoyo. We've got one more. Suda. Suda. To use or to write. Suda. Something interesting is about to happen. Okay, so we get rid of the da, right? We are now left with s. What happens next? the vowel is going to just disappear. Now we have the sanshio just hanging out, just floating around in the ether. It cannot even be pronounced because it doesn't have a vowel. It's just existing. Very sad. Thankfully, we have the all vowel to the rescue. Excellent. It attaches right to the all vowel. We add the O. What is our final conjugation going to sound like? Soyo. Soyo. That is how we conjugate these verbs into the yo form. In part two, we're going to discuss conjugation that takes a couple extra steps. Don't be scared. I'll walk you through it. But right here, we have the basic conjugation. This is how we determine our adhesive vowels, the basic 9 ways to conjugate something. So that should get you started. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.